Hi beautiful, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm quite excited to try the latest collection from Maybelline, and that's the Gigi Hadid collection that she did for Maybelline. Now I only got 2 items from the collection because they run quite expensive in New Zealand and the price is almost comparable to high-end makeup, so I could not justify spending more than $100 for the whole collection, so I only got the ones that caught my eye. So the first one that I have is this eyeshadow palette, which is in the shade Cool from the West Coast collection. And as for the lips, I have this lip kit in the shade Taura, which is like a nice mauvey nude. This eyeshadow palette retails for $25. It has a nice array of cool tone shades. So the first one that I'm going to swatch is the shade right here, which is called Off Duty, and this one is a nice pinky gold. So that's Off Duty right there. It feels so smooth to the touch and it's quite pigmented. So the second shade that I'm going to swatch is this Carbon Canyon, which is like a nice cool toned chocolate brown, and that's what it looks like right there. They're honestly quite pigmented. The third shade is called G-Force, which is the shade right here, and it's like a pink shade with a gold iridescence to it. So that's G-Force right there. So this one right here is called Butterfly Lane. So it's like a dusty mauvey purple. It has sort of like a grayish tone as well. So that's what it looks like right there. And then the next one that we're going to swatch is Magic Hour, which is this one right here, and it's your bronze shade. So that's it right there, and it's so pretty. That's like a pinky bronze. And then the last shade that we're going to swatch is called Easy Valley, which is this dark gray brown. So the eyeshadows are all quite pigmented, though the mattes, I feel like it kind of swatches a little bit chalky and patchy, but I could tell that they are blendable, especially the shimmers. And you get 3 matte eyeshadows and 3 metallic eyeshadows, which are pretty cool. And at the back you have the instructions on how to use them, and then you have the shade names as well. And packaging wise, it's acrylic. I love the color because it's that millennial baby pink color, so that's a pretty cool on-the-go eyeshadow palette. And for the lipstick, I got the shade Taura, and it comes with lip liner and the lipstick. So packaging wise, it's the same. It has that baby pink packaging, and I love that this name is holographic. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like a brown shade of nude, which has a mauvey undertone. So that's it right there. And the lip liner is retractable, which is great because you don't need to worry about sharpening it. That's it right there. So as you can see, it has a little bit more brown compared to the lipstick. It's not fully matte, it's not satin, so it's like creamy formula. For transition shade, I think I am going to start with this shade right here called Butterfly Lane. The brush picks up the eyeshadow, which is a good thing because that means the eyeshadows are pigmented. Eyeshadow blends real easily, and I actually quite like the shade. And now to kind of go over the crease shade, I'm going to apply this shade called Carbon Canyon. So it has more of like a chocolatey brown undertone, which I presume will warm up my look a little bit. So I'm going to focus that shade underneath the crease. Also, one thing I need to show you guys, as I was picking up the eyeshadow, look at that. It's a little bit powdery, so keep that in mind. But for me, it's not a big issue because powdery eyeshadow means that it's pigmented. I'm going back to the transition shade, blend the upper part a little bit because I feel like we kind of lost that transition shade. To deepen the outer corner, I am going to use this shade right here called Easy Valley. So I'm going to use like a more precise brush. The matte shadows are quite powdery as well, so you have to really tap off the excess. So I'm going to focus that on the outer V. And then I'm going to go back to the shade Carbon Canyon, which is that chocolatey brown, and blend the edges of that shade. For the lower lash line, I am going to use that Carbon Canyon again, which is that one right there, and run that along the lower lash line. And for the outer corner, I'm going to use that Easy Valley and just focus that on the outer parts of my lower lash line. So I'm going to use this shade right here all over my lid, and I am going to use my pinky finger because I feel like that packs more color. In this part right here, I'm going to use that bronzy shade with a brush to blend the darker shade into the pink, because I really want to use all the colors. Then I am going to go back to Easy Valley and just focus this on the outer V. For the inner corner highlight, I am going to use the shade Off Duty, which is like a champagne pink, no, champagne gold. And I am going to take the G-Force again and pop that in the middle of my lower lash line. The shimmer shade has a little bit of fallout. Even though they're quite powdery, they're actually quite blendable, and surprisingly enough, I've used all the shades and all the shades look so pretty. I'm now going to line my lips with the Taura lip liner. The lip liner is so smooth, it glides on very nicely and it's pigmented. So now onto the lipstick. This is my final look. Overall, I like the eyeshadow palette. It's very blendable. Everything in the palette works together and they're quite pigmented, though one thing I've noticed is that the metallic shades in here, it looks very pretty in the pan, but once you put it on your lids, it kind of breaks apart. Now, it's not as pigmented. Slightly tell that the color is there, but it's not like full on. But other than that, the matte shades are my favorite because they blended so easy. They're quite pigmented, they go nicely on top of each other, and the shades are very complementary to each other. So my final thoughts, I feel like this eyeshadow palette is worth the money because it's very pigmented. Everything is in there. You could easily create a day to night eyeshadow look. The lipstick, it's not something that you really have to buy as a kit. If I were to choose, I feel like I would have gone for the lip liner instead of the lipstick because I prefer my lipstick to be more of a brownie warm nude as opposed to like cool tone mauvey nude. Formula wise, it's great. The collection runs very expensive. I feel like the Gigi Hadid collection is not really something that you really have to buy, but if I were to recommend something to try, definitely this eyeshadow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more updates, and I will catch you on my next video. Bye!